The next step in our '68 Camaro restoration project was a fender patch. When this car came to us, it was completely missing the passenger side fender, so we had to find another one. But the driver's side fender looked pretty clean, but after further closer inspection, it was revealed that there was some rust towards the base of the fender and in some of the inner structure supports, which is very common on these cars. Sometimes they've been victims of previous repair work, or they held water in the cowl and that, rusted them from the inside out. And that's exactly what happened here. So the first step in our case was to identify what areas needed to be repaired, and it turned out that both of the inner structure pieces, one at the front side of the fender and one towards the rear support, were both rusted through. So we took some time to drill out those spot welds and remove those panels. Nick removed that front support and sandblasted it in the Eastwood cabinet to see basically what was left. And there wasn't much left of this piece. So this isn't something you go down the street and pick up off the shelf and replace it with. Nick spent some time matching up the sheet metal gauge to some sheet metal that we had in the shop and started hammering and forming a new inner support panel. You just got to take some time cutting and bending and forming it on whatever you can. He used the edge of our steel welding table to make the bends crisp, and an anvil and an Eastwood body hammer kit, and then would grind it and pound on it and everything. And pretty soon he had something that matched the original piece exactly, and it was ready to weld in. Our new repair piece that we made and welded in looked like no repair had ever been made, and that's our goal, to make it look like we were never there. Nick used a lot of these same techniques to replace the bottom half of the rear structure towards the door side of the fender because that was also rusted away, and he wanted to get both of these in place before he cut the skin of the fender apart, which had a big hole rusted through it. And incidentally, this replaced a previous patch that was made of body filler and a bottle cap. I mean, we've seen some crazy stuff, a lot of chicken wire and aluminum foil and duct tape and road signs. Never have I seen a bottle cap to be used as a backing for body filler. So cap's out, new steel is in. With the inner structure securely welded in place, Nick attacked the outside of the fender, which had a hole through the skin. And we were going to use a patch panel that we got from Classic Industries. They make repair panels so that you can keep as much of your original fender as possible. The first step is to kind of overlay the patch over our rusted affected area and map out how much of it you want to use and carefully cut off as much as you need from the original fender. With our rusty piece of skin removed, it exposed the inside of our inner support, and Nick took some time to grind those welds that he couldn't get to with that skin attached. So that really, it's going to look like, it was an original piece. And these patch panels are generally pretty good, but we were really going for, again, an undetectable repair. So we took some time to carefully kind of creep up on the shape of the patch, trimming the outsides a little bit at a time, and hammering and dollying the patch so that the contours really match the original one as much as possible. Sometimes you can just put them on and they look pretty good, but we're spending a lot of time on the details of this car, so we decided to take a little extra time just to make sure that patch was as perfect as it could be. Once Nick and Kelly were happy with the shape and fitment of the patch, Nick used a whole bunch of clamps to clamp it in place and then started spot weld tacking it into the original fender. And you want to do this carefully and slowly because the more you weld on it, the more heat you can put in the panel and warp it, and you just spend all this time making it fit nice, so you don't want to do that. So slow tacks, bounce around the panel, do opposite sides. Along the way, you want to keep checking to make sure that nothing's twisting or warping on you. There's a curved contour slot where the fender bolts to the body structure, and once this thing was tacked in place, Nick used a cutoff wheel to open up that slot, and the original fender had spot welds in that area, so we have an HTP Quickspot spot welder that we used to resistance spot weld that area again so it looks like a factory piece. And when it's all tack welded up, then you can start the grind process to eliminate that seam. And when you grind, you also want to be conservative as not to put too much heat back into the panel because you can warp it from grinding it as well. Once the grind operation was completed, Nathan came back through with a hammer and dolly and just kind of tapped on the fender to push the metal into the right precise contour. And when they were finished, they hit it with a little epoxy primer to protect it from rusting, and it looks like nothing ever happened. This is a perfectly usable fender now, and nobody will ever be able to tell that this patch was put in.